isn't on the agenda at this time. Okay, we're gonna have to pick and choose a little bit because I have another meeting to go to at 6:30 that I have to run also. So we're going to, I guess the first thing, let's set the special town meeting date. Beth, you said that the election board has, that you've done the calculations, and it looks like July 1st?
July 1st would work, it's a Tuesday, and it would be normal voting 10 to 7 here at the town hall.
Okay,
July 7th, what day is that?
It doesn't
It's a
have to
Tuesday.
be done within
Tuesday.
6 weeks.
60
of
days.
60
60
days.
days, and the,
I knew it was a 6.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's 60 days,
Warren
and there
is-
has to be, and you need to,
Warn it 30 to 40.
Okay.
40 is what I,
okay, so that fits all the criteria.
Now,
Yeah.
again,
As long as
July
it's 3
7th,
years.
July
what, July 1st is
July 1st.
Tuesday.
7/1/25,
Canada
10 to,
Day.
10 to 7
10 to 7.
here,
here,
in Beth's office, at the vault.
And
So-
town hall.
how are we gonna notify the voters again? Are we mailing out
I
postcards?
think we have to.
Yeah.
Because you have to notify every single voter.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, that's the 817 somehow.
we're down a few, but yes.
Okay.
Will there be absentee ballots for that?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But they won't be available until we see who's running.
Right.
So we have
That
to
gives
get,
enough time.
I don't know, what is the deadline for the petitions
Petitions.
for?
I won't know, I'll have to calculate on my calendar tomorrow. I was waiting on this date.
Okay, because we didn't know if that was.
Yes.
So you will calculate that,
So,
and we can send that out on the email?
Yes, because Lisa will need that for the warning, part of the heading.
Right.
I think once we figure that out, we should do the postcards closer to the election, so, maybe 2 weeks out.
As long as somebody isn't gonna be out of the country.
Wait,
and
2
you
weeks
didn't
out, I
have to
thought
be
it
back.
has to be, doesn't,
It has to be 30 to 40
has to be
days.
Oh,
30
so
to 40
30
days out.
Okay, so 30 days.
We could put the warning in the newspaper 2 weeks out,
Or you could throw an extra
or
one.
an extra one, yeah. we
I
could
don't know.
warn it
Okay,
a couple
Yeah.
So,
times.
motion been made and seconded for 7/1/25, 10 to 7. Is there any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, special town meeting, that's taken care
Thank you.
of. Beth, you said you have some access permits,
Yes.
let's do those. We're gonna jump around a little bit. We'll do the important stuff, because then I
I
have
thought we were doing good, it's in a minute.
to. I know. Well,
Okay, so the first one is just a culvert replacement, 18-inch culvert on 15 Meering Road. It's 15 Meering Road LLC, also David Powers.
Has that been,
Trevor has signed off on it.
so it has been approved and done? Or it's waiting
It's
to be?
approved.
It's
Yes, I'll call these people in the morning and let them know.
And
These
so
are good to
18
go.
minutes, okay, got it.
I make a motion, we approve 15 Meering Road for Powers.
David Powers.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? You all set with it?
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the second one is Andrew Spadadol. He is at 23 Sugar Bush. And this is a new construction.
Okay,
And
and does it need a,
Trevor forgot to sign this one, so can I get his signature tomorrow? Can we do that? You guys approve it? And I know he's looked at it. I think he just forgot to sign it.
Can I get the spelling of his name real quick?
I mean, you're not gonna call him
I mean,
until
unless he has-
Trevor.
Until Trevor
approves
signs it, yeah. I usually scan a copy out to him.
Well,
so he
is
just-
Trevor around?
Not tonight.
Not at all?
I think he's at a basketball game.
Okay.
Not that I'm monitoring him.
No, it just meant we could text him or something. I mean, he has no usually just he has no objection,
Yeah.
but he's inside.
Send it up, and if he
there's a problem,
doesn't
I'll
approve
bring it
it, then
back.
kick it back.
Does it
Yeah.
have a culvert?
No,
Hey, Luce, you wanna give it this way, Luce?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey,
sorry about that.
I make a motion that we approve 23 Sugar Bush with
Wait, Trevor,
Trevor's approval.
You signed it on the
Trevor
first page.
signed the first page.
Oh, okay, yep, fine.
Yeah, he
Perfect,
doesn't
sorry
sign,
about that.
he's not gonna sign the
Yes,
second
yeah,
page till
sorry.
it's in.
Oh,
Okay, I was
so-
looking
That
for
was
it.
signed, it
Goes
says
your mind.
18-inch
I know.
culvert.
I know, look at that.
Yeah, no, tell me, it's been a crazy day
That's what
already.
18.
Okay, so there was a
Motion
motion,
was made and seconded to
Second.
approve it.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Did I hear 18-inch culvert?
It says 18-inch culvert needed,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, what's the third one?
Daniel Peak, 73 Ravenwood Road. Trevor did sign this one, and this is no culvert needed.
Ravenwood.
Maybe
Above you.
Oh, okay, yep. Okay,
it's above you, that's interesting.
They are putting in a temporary road as well that will be removed as soon as they do some construction.
okay. And that's been signed,
Yes.
okay. Motion, Ravenwood,
I make a motion that we approve Peak at 73 Ravenwood
I'll
Road.
second it.
Oh,
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I'm on
No
one
culvert
number.
needed, no culvert needed, work road will be removed at the end of the job.
Okay, is that it?
That's it?
No liquor tonight?
Nope,
That sucks.
sorry. Maybe later when you get home.
Okay, so is that all we got for you?
That's it.
The town meeting and the access permits, that takes care of yours?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
And then you'll have, just so people understand on the, you'll have official petition forms available for
Yes.
anyone who wants to run,
Yes.
now that you have the meeting date.
Yes, because they needed the meeting date before they
Right.
could get signatures.
And
Right.
is the law that, because they were very loosey-goosey with it at the Secretary of State's, is it that you have to run for a one seat?
Oh,
So it's
A
one
like,
1 year or
a
2
2
year?
year? Can you
Yeah.
run for both?
that would be, you'd have to have two petitions if you
you
were
need
running
two
for both.
petitions.
'Cause
Each
it
petition
says on
has to
here-
specify exactly, I'm sorry.
It says a term, what term you're running for, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year, or
So
1 year.
it's not two 2-year terms, it's a
It
1-year
is,
term. and
but,
two-
but the DLCT, back when we first started this, said they need to stagger those 2-year terms, just like we're staggered on 3-year terms. So the first year of the 2-year term, and then they'll have to run again in March. The first year with the 2-year term is for a 1 year. And so there's a 1 year and a 2
No,
year.
no, I totally understand.
I'm not sure.
I totally understand why
Where's
it's set
Julie?
up that way, but what I'm saying is, would it make it simpler if the person,
You can't, you have to have two.
You have to have two
it's
petitions.
Two positions.
If you want to, I mean,
Yeah.
there's 2 positions to
Okay.
run for. You can, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
that
One
like,
petition that said I run for either?
no, that the person with the most votes gets the 2
No, and
years?
you know what, it specifically doesn't work that way, you know, let's see what we come up with, but I asked VLCT, what happens if there's, I asked a whole bunch of questions that I have answers to, and if we need them.
Okay, just a Hannah.
Yeah, just a question with that. How does that work? So people are gonna have to choose whether they're running for the 1-year seat or the 2-year seat?
Yes.
What if you have everybody run for the 2-year seat and nobody run for the 1-year seat? Would it not be an option to have everybody run for the 2-year seat, because theoretically it's 2 2-year terms, even though one is only serving the
No,
end of the
everybody
first one?
runs for a 1 year or 2 years, very specific.
No, I
Statute.
understand it's very specific, but how are you gonna make sure that you don't end up having,
We don't,
okay, so then what happens?
so
My
then,
question was, could you not have them all
let's
run
address
for-
it when it
Wait,
comes,
can I
but
finish
there's
the
a,
question first, please?
what,
Would you not have them, like, run for 2 year, everyone runs for a 2-year seat, and then once elected, the board can decide who's getting the 1 year and who's getting the 2 year?
no, that's not how it works.
So how is it supposed to work?
It's supposed to work that you pick what you're running for, a 1 year or a 2-year term, or both, you can do 2
So what
petitions.
I would recommend
Okay,
is
hold on,
everyone
hold on.
run
What?
Slow
for
down.
I'm sorry,
Slow
I don't,
down.
wait, I want, you can sign more than one petition.
That's just said you
I don't
can't
think you can.
sign more than one
I
petition.
think you can
Oh, you
only
mean
sign,
individual?
No.
Oh,
like I
Because
can't
that's the
sign
one question
two
you're
per
supposed to
deed.
ask, is
Oh.
when you go.
I didn't
when
know
you
that.
sign in BLC.
Oh, I just
But the
assumed
answer
you
to
could
your
sign
other
as
question
many.
is,
No.
if there's a, say everybody ran for 2 year and nobody ran for the 1 year, the board appoints a 1-year position.
So that was exactly what I was saying.
Same thing
Wouldn't
if-
it make sense for everyone to just run for a 2-year and then have
I don't think
the
it's
board
gonna work
appoint
that way, I think
who's gonna do one or the other, to make it more simple?
people can make sense of however, if you wanna run, you choose, if you're running for a 1 year or a 2 year or both,
Okay,
but you have to pick,
okay.
1 year or 2 year or both, but we don't
That's
choose
the way
that.
I understand it. but
Yeah.
That doesn't mean.
And I
So
did get,
I
did you have
just,
something else?
the way I understood it from the Secretary of State's office is, they said it is open to interpretation. And
Whose
so I
interpretation?
interpreted it as, we have everybody run for the 2-year seat, and the person with the most votes gets to pick if they want a 1-year or 2-year, and then the person who gets the second most votes,
That's what I thought
Gets-
too, Julie.
I don't
Yeah,
think
that's
so.
not it. So VLCT, so Carl at VLCT, I ran this by him months ago, and here's his email chain. So you have to run for a 1-year or a 2-year term. You can run for both of them. So I asked him specifically, if someone runs for both open seats and wins them both, right? What if you win the 1-year and the 2-year? I said, then we'll have to choose which one to accept. The seat that the person declined wouldn't automatically go to the next person, which is logical to me too, with the highest vote count, right? The select board would then appoint a registered voter at the next session. That's what he said. The seat declined wouldn't automatically go to the person with the next highest vote count. The select board would then appoint a registered voter, any registered voter, didn't have to even run, any registered voter, until the next election. So that's how it works. So if the 1-year seat is open, that's how it would work. The board appoints it.
Jeff?
No, I'm good, Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just was
No, I
trying
was
to
just giving a
get.
thumbs up to something. I
Oh,
appreciate
okay,
you.
I thought you were signaling, I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know, VLCT had a
But-
different interpretation than the
Well, the problem
secretary.
is you get 2 lawyers in a room, you're gonna get 2 different
Well,
interpretations, that's
Secretary of
just the way it's
State
gonna be.
aren't the lawyers.
You have- huh?
VLCT is.
They're
VLCT,
the
Well, I
ones
know,
who uphold
But
the
I
law.
hope you get answers at them, because when I call them, they don't answer me back.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't call,
Other
you
than-
have to, just so you know, if you want to talk to VLCT, you have to log into their website. You have to say what it is you want, and then they will assign one of their 4 or
Okay.
5 legal counsel.
All right, we're
to
not
you.
gonna do the bills for a few minutes.
One more thing, so I'm on the election site, and it says multiple petitions. You can sign petitions for multiple candidates or ballot measures.
That was my understanding. You can sign for 3 different people if you want, is my understanding.
But you can't sign 2 for 1.
They're 2
You-
different positions, I'm gonna have to clarify that, because it doesn't say that in here.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you
This
mean
is-
2 for 1? I still don't know what you're saying.
So if you ran for the 1-year and the 2-year, could Julie sign?
My
both
1 year
different-
and my 2 year.
Because they're 2 different positions.
I believe you can.
I
sign
think,
both.
I would think you could sign
so,
them both,
but
but
I will
Does it-
clarify that from the elections department and send you all an
Okay.
email.
yeah, I would think you
Let
could
us
sign
know.
both.
Okay.
I didn't ask that
Let's
question.
move off of special town meeting. Chief, what do you got going?
I've got the local emergency management plan.
Have you guys had a
we
chance to
adopted
review
by the
that?
town.
I just
Yes,
flipped through
I
it,
did, and the only
not
thing-
like a dart, it doesn't look any different than it's kind of, are
It's-
there
The
any
it's pretty
changes?
similar. The
the
only-
names may have changed.
The only thing I noticed, I read through it, the
Yep.
only thing I didn't see in it specifically, I mean, it does say that the mountain school has facilities for, I think it's at 300 people, but there's cots, we have cots, and there was a list of all the stuff that we have.
Yeah.
And it
They're
didn't
not
say
on there? Okay.
cots, and I know we have cots, they're in the basement here.
We don't, there's not a lot.
Not anymore, no.
Really?
We only have a couple.
What do we do with them?
There's not a lot. I don't, we never had a huge stockpile.
No.
Right.
There might have been like 10 at one point.
Well, we only had to-
There's like 2
We only,
now.
we only had to implement this, well,
Thank you.
twice, I guess. Did we do it during Sarah, Sandy and Irene? I know we did it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not
Both
sure.
times.
I don't know that we ever activated it up there, did we?
did.
We may have
We
had
did,
it
no, it was
available.
up there. Remember
We
Bob?
may have had it available during a power outage, during a cold weather power, but I don't
Yeah.
think anyone.
I know Bob Bosch
participated.
was up there manning it.
Okay. So, have you had a chance to review this as far as the local emergency management plan municipal adoption form?
Yeah, I said the only thing I had an issue with
Was about the cost.
Was the costs, and if they're not relevant, that's fine.
Okay,
We can look and adjust, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make
Okay.
sure, yeah.
so can I have a motion?
Yeah, I
to-
move to approve it, to approve your signing, because it has to be signed by a select board person. So I would motion to authorize the chair to sign the emergency,
Management plan
Management plan.
municipal adoption form.
yeah.
A second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. And I'll try to sign
Aye.
it so they can read it. That's scary.
Yeah, and I'll send it to
Do you have anything else,
I
chief?
met with him. Yeah, I do have Haven here. Haven, you wanna come up?
that's cool.
Grab a chair if you want. So yeah, Haven has been selected to fill the full-time position that we have open. To start on June, or May 31st, and then attend the academy in August.
You pass it down, thank you.
Everybody
Okay,
has met him, and
where are you
most
from?
of the town has now.
Okay.
I'm originally from New Jersey, and I moved down to Florida about 5 years ago with my
Yeah.
family.
Okay,
And I've been at Castleton University ever since,
okay,
for the past
cool.
5.
Well,
So you're
welcome
living
aboard.
over towards Castleton?
I live over in Polk.
From Pullman?
Okay.
Still completing his master's right now.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, welcome aboard.
You're gonna do that and the academy?
It'll be awesome.
Yeah, pause, and then I'll start back up, so.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Other than that, just the stats and nothing
Okay.
ordinary.
Anything special we should be seeing?
You're doing the new public kind of
Yeah, we're gonna
information.
get these stats out a little more than other, more than just the select board meeting. On the social media, actually did a nice job with the first one. We'll continue that monthly
Okay.
throughout the year. And hopefully add on to that as well.
Do you want to post those on your site, on the website?
Yeah, we certainly can, yeah, that'll, yeah.
Oh, here's the folder for that, I'm sorry. Okay, good.
Everything's
You're up
good,
to
yeah.
speed, all your equipment's in good shape?
Yeah, yeah, I think we talked about it during the budget meetings, but I think we may be able to avoid a cruiser purchase this year. Pretty low mileage on.
Unless it's Chevy.
Yeah, unless we
cabs.
have a problem with one of them, but we should be able to get through another year
So,
before purchasing.
how old's the dog? No.
He is 8 years old, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
How long do they go?
10-ish, right around there.
Okay.
So, we probably got.
So it's been worthwhile?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of good finds.
We've used it on some search and rescues.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you used it on drug?
Yeah, he's done some drug work, some apprehension stuff, not in Winhall, but used by surrounding agencies, and the search and rescue, the tracking.
Okay.
Find, yeah, he's definitely has some good finds.
What is
Probably
the
save some
cost to train a new dog?
So he was donated to us, so we don't have to purchase the canine. It's just the cost of the training, which is absorbed by the agency. And I believe it's around $5,200, but I can
Oh,
check
that's
into
way
that,
less than
yeah.
I was expecting.
And then I think we put maybe, what was it, a 4,500 into that line item annually.
Between food and vet care,
Yeah,
et cetera, et
yeah.
cetera. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not,
Okay.
not in control. So it's something that we.
Well, and then you have to outfit one
and
cruiser
one of the
differently,
cruisers, yeah,
but,
Yeah.
that's just the way it goes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, if nothing else, thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
Sorry
thank
we
you.
held you up so
No
long.
problem.
Thanks for joining the team,
Thank you,
Nathan.
appreciate you guys. Thanks for
Good
doing
luck.
it all.
Thanks.
Do.
Be
Thanks,
safe.
David.
Okay,
Let me take that.
what else we want?
Do you want to scan it,
Or do
send
you
it to me,
want-
because we have to get.
Okay, I think we can take I think we can take the housing committee off, old business, and I will, if I have something to present, I will ask you to put it on under new business.
Deleted.
And I didn't see, I didn't look at the website today, but last time I looked, the meeting was canceled, I called to find
Yes,
that out,
yes.
but it wasn't on the website. And then, it wasn't on that it was canceled,
It wasn't?
well, not that day,
It's not on there right now.
that last Tuesday. Did you know it was canceled?
I did,
Yes.
yes, she had informed me, but
Ah.
I didn't know that you wanted a special, did you want a special?
Well, I know
that's
it's
canceled across the
Well,
list? I didn't.
It's so.
Well, it was up there as a meeting, it was up there as I said, the next meeting, well, actually, it was only in
It
the
was
minutes.
only in the
It's in the
minutes, it was
minutes,
never
it said the next
posted.
meeting would be the March 25th or something.
Right, which
then that didn't
originally it
happen.
was, and then people were out.
So when is the next meeting? Because if,
Next,
Isn't
the
it
20, yeah, it's a Tuesday, let me look on my calendar.
I believe it's on the website.
it is, a Tuesday is a 27th. The
Yes.
27th is a Tuesday.
So is it a virtual meeting or an in-person?
That's
We're
both.
both,
Okay. Okay, all right,
And it's still 5:30, right?
yes.
Oh, I don't have the agenda for that yet.
Right.
okay, tomorrow we got a tax sale at
Yes.
10 o'clock.
You've already been.
We've had, so, yeah, I've already, and I went and looked at the properties today. I don't know, hopefully we have people interested in all of them, hopefully that'll take care of a lot of the problems. The way we were thinking, there's some unique factions to that, because one of them is only 0.35 acres and the other one is 0.51 acres. So they're very small properties, so I don't know, we'll have to, hopefully we've got next door neighbors interested in them, and we'll have it happen that way. That would be a lot easier. But we have got a fair amount of activity on it, right, Beth? You got-
Yes, a lot of interest so far.
Good, and I think that was due to Debbie's sending out letters.
She called
That was a
me.
huge asset doing that,
Yeah.
sending them out to all these letters, because a lot of them don't live in town, they're not gonna see the notice in the Rutland Herald or in here.
Right.
What time is that? 10, right?
10 o'clock,
10
I'm
o'clock.
gonna be in Ludlow, I thought I'd come to it, but I can't.
Are
You
you
want to come in, you want to come virtually?
No.
I don't know, okay.
Well, you wanna stand there with your phone?
I'll stand there, we could owl it.
Well, I'm wondering if we need to,
No, it's tax sales?
yeah. I don't-
We've never had any recording of any taxes. It's not a
It's
committee
not really
meeting that
committee
makes any
meeting,
decisions.
But I didn't know if you wanted to do
Okay.
it, it's here.
All right, so,
Oh,
you
is
said-
Oh, the tax sale is here?
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Anybody
Good.
wants it recorded? we can-
all right, we'll see.
Well, that's up to Kevin, I think. It's his meeting. It's not a town meeting at all. I mean, it is in a sense, but.
Okay,
Right.
all right, so the Code of
I'm
Ethics
sorry, no,
ordinance,
meeting on the 15th is not a town meeting at all.
That's
the
a
Rose
different
Ridge.
meeting.
This is.
Right,
Deb's
this is the
meeting.
tax sale, so maybe it should be. What the heck? Wouldn't hurt. I don't know.
Okay. You
It's
said
easy.
you spelled out how to
Love
use
to
it?
see how it works.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll try to get here early for that. Okay, Code of Ethics ordinance, you said it's not time for us to do anything with
Right.
it?
Right, so
We
we've
got
got
one
to
more
wait that
meeting?
certain amount of days.
So we got another meeting before we deal with that?
We might have more than one, I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
what the actual date of.
Yeah, it was
of- of
60 days. It might be
Yeah, it
still
might-
out
It
there.
might still, yeah.
Okay, short-term rental contract, what's,
Oh, Bill, that's you.
Well, we're waiting on that. We got a note today saying that they thought that they would have an update for us by they said today, and Melissa said, great, if you can get it to us before our meeting, that'd be great. But they didn't. We got a note back saying, sorry, the legal counsel that we need to run this by before we can send it to you isn't available. We thought they were. We'll get back to you soon.
So is Christy working?
Oh, yeah, she has been somewhat. I don't know if she's putting any billing
A little-
in.
Couple
But
hours.
she's-
but-
so can we start her
She's part of the
process?
loop with this. She comes to our she comes to our online meetings with GovOS, and,
So can we start her and let word out that we're starting the
We
process?
well, so
We
that,
have nothing.
so I've been asking GovOS in the last 3 emails, actually. I've asked them if we could theoretically start, like Christie wants us to just set up an Excel spreadsheet and start letting people know what they need to do and taking information in. Can we take that in and then have them later put it into their system once we're actually up and running? Yeah,
No
we
response.
didn't get an answer to that. I've asked it a few times now. I mean, I'm not sure why, maybe Jeff knows. I don't know why Jeff and Marcel picked GovOS. They don't seem to be very responsive to us.
Well,
I assume they were to Marcel, cause.
And Marcel was the one who said to start it as early as we did, because we'd be going, but then he went and died.
Yeah, I can't blame him for that, although I hate it. That's really
So,
massive loss.
We're just kind of at
But
this
I
point
have no-
waiting on a contract renewal or extension because it actually has already lapsed. Our first year
Right.
of contract has already lapsed, but we have 0 from them. We don't have.
Because for
any
whatever
backup
reason,
yet.
Marcel said, sign this now, we need to lock them in. I don't understand why, we were listening to what he had to say in the planning commission. I mean, Jeff was a big part of it. So I don't know what happened, but we signed up in April. So our contract date is April. And then what happened was that once we actually started, once we got through the short-term rental ordinance got in place and we started to actually work with them to get it going, I said, this makes no sense. Why
It was
would
like
we be paying you?
February.
I said, you're doing lots of stuff now. It seems great. We love what you're doing now. I think this is gonna work. You know, if we didn't need somebody scraping somebody's scraping all of this data. We wouldn't need them at all because we could set this up, but we can't figure out who's doing a short-term rental. Theoretically, they can. We have two other companies.
Right.
And, I don't want to get into necessarily a lawsuit with them if they say, no, we're not doing it, but I've been pressing. They had sort of agreed to, oh, well, we'll push the April to September. I said, we didn't even start anything. Like, our ordinance passed, it finally became final December. I said, we started everything. I said, why don't we just pick January? Like, let's start a new contract date of January, and we'll be happy
Monday,
campers.
25.
Yes.
Did I get all?
That's when we started actually doing it. All of our meetings started in February. But I said, okay, let's go to we started in February with them.
Yep.
And because we passed the ordinance and then we started in February. So I said, this doesn't seem fair or rational to me. I understand we have a contract, but let's, throw some reality in here. So we're waiting to hear back from them.
Okay.
And they do theoretically have an answer. I don't know what that answer is yet. 'Cause
Right, I wish they would just
they
say
didn't say
yes
this
or
is
no,
what we're
or-
doing.
yeah.
And to
So
say,
this is
okay,
it
now
for
we
this
want to get out of GovOS, I think that's
This
gonna
is
be
next.
probably, unless they're willing to walk away, in which case I would go with, there was
Suppose
another
they should've
company,
been
there were
picked
two
up.
other companies, Granicus and
Deckard.
Deckard,
Deckard, yep.
and Granicus. And Deckard, in everything they said, they could get up to speed really fast. They were already up to speed on scraping. They had started scraping before we gave them the contract.
Yeah.
So
They're much
I'm not
shorter
sure why
timeframe.
they weren't picked. They also were a few $1,000s less. Not a big deal, but for some reason, Marcel and whoever was assisting with them, I thought it was Jeff, but he's not
I
answering.
like the other guys. I like the other guys you're talking about.
Our pick,
I
Definitely.
forget, we had
Deckard.
two bids,
Granicus, we had three. We had
Three bids.
Granicus, GovOS, and
but we chucked one out because they had bad reviews from Killington and some other people. So
Killington is who does GovOS. Oh, but Marcel talked to them and they said,
It was one of the three, it wasn't GovOS, that we got feedback from Killington that they were not doing a good job, so we knocked out one of the three. And it came down to GovOS and I forget the other two, I can look at my notes.
okay, but Killington uses GovOS and
Yeah, and I think that was part of Marcel's decision, because that was in my.
yeah, I don't know, but there is another company if we have to, but again, we're under a contract now. It'd be nice to just amend it and work with them to the date that we have. I'm hoping that's what they come
Let's
up
get
with.
it going.
Right.
But,
It would be great
they're
if we
not.
could get it moving along.
So, and back to
It's-
your thing, so what Christie asked, and I've asked them 3 or 4 times, I said, can we just start, we have to do, I did intend to do a townwide mailing to let people that do short-term rentals, a postcard, but people that do, and I should get on that, people that do short-term rentals to know that they need to
Start getting their stuff together.
get your documents together for the short-term rental application, and to people that aren't doing short-term rentals, to let them know that there's some saving grace coming down the pike. Go read it if you want, and there's gonna be a hotline number to reach, all of them have hotline numbers. The hotline number to reach out to if you have a problem, because we're still getting people saying, we just got one, a month
Right,
ago.
yeah, what's going on?
Less than a month, like not what's going on with us, but we have this short-term rental problem. There's, I have kids and there's garbage all over the place and there's bears coming.
I go and look at a lot of those as
Yeah.
town health officer. And I've been calling the people directly and telling them they have to get a bear-proof container.
Yeah,
Or
well,
they gotta
that's
arrange
in,
it.
that's in the short-term rental
Right.
ordinance, but no one's in it yet. So Christie
It's
did
in
say, can she start to,
Thank you, sorry.
take applications and even issue licenses to get this thing going? But then, backtrack it into GovOS's systems, because they actually keep track of the renewals and the dates and all that.
Right.
And they keep all the documents get fed into this system, for her to review. I've asked it at least 3 times, and I haven't had the answer to
let's-
that yet. So I think they're waiting till we work this contract thing out, but I specifically asked Jennifer today, because she's the one who would know whether she can,
Who's Jennifer?
she is the person who is.
Contact person.
Well, there's a lot of contact people, but she's the one who's creating the website. She's
The
the,
website for
She's the
Gov,
developer,
for
sure.
GovOS, not our website.
No, the GovOS
Okay, when you
website.
start talking website,
No, the GovOS site for us, our municipal
For
GovOS
licenses.
site. It's our municipal GovOS
Okay.
site, so. I mean, it hasn't been horrendous, it's just this one issue about, like, why would we pay you for, you did actually nothing.
All right, let's
Zero.
go.
0.0.
They did nothing. They did nothing, and, I mean, they were available to it, and it wasn't their, I get it, it's not their fault they did nothing. The timing was all off, I mean, we didn't even,
We hadn't implemented the ordinance yet.
we didn't
so
have an
really
ordinance, we couldn't do
it.
anything,
But
right?
we were advised to implement the contract with GovOS at that
Yes.
time, and that's what we did
Yes,
under.
we
advised.
probably, hindsight's 20/20, so
Okay.
now we're moving forward.
So you guys have seen the bills for tonight?
Yes,
I make a motion, we approve the pay order for May 13th.
second.
The motion been made and seconded to pay May 13th.
Does it have today's date on it?
Yes, it does right here. I had to look.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, because I mean, it's an off day.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, what else?
Alex, got you covered on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you have to
All right.
get out of here.
No, he doesn't have to leave, as long as he's got those.
No, he
so-
doesn't, I
Okay.
don't have to manage out.
So, all right, now, Goldstone was planning on coming, but we're gonna have a short meeting tonight. Are they coming next week?
Well, I didn't ask them to come, so you had asked for.
No,
So-
I asked them not to
quotes.
come when they sent
Right,
that
yeah.
email this
So-
You
morning.
had asked for
Are we
quotes.
putting out an RFP for engineering on the
Well, I
letter
thought
of map adjustment?
Andrea,
You got
Yes, what
Andrea's
about Andrew
message.
Amadin's, and I sent that to you, did you get it?
Yeah, I did. Sorry, I didn't respond to you. Yeah, that's exactly what a feasibility study should look like.
Right, yeah,
It
no,
was looking at all of the
she
red
did that on
tape
her
that
own,
you-
she did
yeah.
that,
Well, I mean, it's not like, that's what she does, right? So she did a
Yes.
fantastic job, but it's like, that's what the $30,000.
That's what she does, but it's 2 hours of her time.
no,
No,
she
no,
did,
I'm not
yeah,
saying
she did
that.
it
I'm
for,
saying,
she
like,
did it because she's a
Right,
town.
that's what
Because she has
her
an interest in making sure it's done right,
expertise
and then you guys are just comparing apples to apples, she said.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, no,
and that
it's
you're
great.
working within the confines of what exists.
Right,
Like,
right,
it was
but I-
never don't do the building, it was, how can you do this building on that piece of land within the red tape that exists? And
Right,
that's
so
what
what
she
I,
showed you.
so what I saw, and again, I only glanced at it, I sent it to you, you've probably learned much more than me, because I know you already, but I only glanced through it, and one of the things I saw, because she even had some maps with some outlines, is that we can expand between the two buildings, it sounded like.
to,
There was, she had a space on there that said you can do improvements,
Yeah,
as long as you're not going closer to,
Forward.
yeah.
closer to the road,
Yeah, but
yeah.
she had it even outlined, there was she had a
Yeah,
map in there that
yeah.
said, this is where you can still.
But you could do the whole time, it was just that with the other ones, they had the wrong amount of footage, they measured it wrong, they
Oh.
had your building going back towards the river, which within the confines of what exists today,
Go down.
that's not possible.
Right, oh, and we
So
did
she's
say,
showing you what's possible on that footprint.
right, it seemed like it was great
Right.
information.
So are we gonna put out an RFP to get that done so that we can get it in
I mean-
progress?
do y'all think before we do this, we need to figure out a budget? Because the $10 million budget.
Oh, yeah, that's an
That's-
impossible number, unless we got some sort of grants, I have no idea, I don't know.
I
that
mean, it seems to
$10 million
me
worth
like
of grants.
maybe we need to work the opposite way once I saw that number.
Well, the problem is, if we can't do anything with the property, then it changes the whole thing, okay? If we can't get a letter of map adjustment to work on that piece of property, then, okay, then it's dead.
I guess I'm confused, I thought what Andrea put forth shows that we can, it's just that we have to do it within specific confines, but that we can,
Right, without the map adjustment.
without any map adjustment,
Right,
that's what it said. That's
so
what she-
no RFP needed.
Right, I mean, if you wanna, I mean, she did talk about, and again, I only glanced through it, she did talk about, something about a formal RFP, but I think that was for something else.
For the design, to like actually.
the design, is that
right,
what it
to
was?
actually have someone come
Okay,
back.
it was
But
for
she
the
did point out that
She
going through the state to ask them to change where the river corridor is gonna be a waste of time and money.
Okay,
Cause even if they do change it, they're not gonna change it drastically
To-
enough
To make a
to make
difference.
a, 10,000 square foot
Right.
building on that.
and and there was a map in there that showed this is where you can do
Yeah.
stuff without any,
If you're 100 feet from the
Right.
river and you're, there's a slot that you can do it on.
right, okay, so,
It's just not gonna be a grandiose building with, because of what you're working with.
So what do you wanna do?
so her reference to RFP was the design,
Right.
which is what we're talking about. At some point, we need a design, but again, what are you gonna do, design with, what we want this within, we want this, don't go, an RFP, not more than 2.5 million or something, I mean,
I mean, I think 2.5
Well,
million is a pipe
the
dream.
problem is,
well, I'm saying, we
they
just
gave
got
us
a
8
number for
choices,
10 million,
and,
which is probably 11 or
8
more.
choices were too much to even fathom. And the fire department hasn't seen any of this either, so, and not that the fire department, I mean, they should have input, but it's also the police department too, as to whether we can fit that into the facility to make it work. I think that that was a wish list. Anytime you start with a wish list, that starts the negotiation. That doesn't mean that this is what it's gonna be. You're gonna say, okay, all right, we can't do this, let's take this out, all right? We're gonna move this over
So
here.
you're saying that we need another meeting to discuss with architects, an RFP with architects, to have a meeting like we did, you were there, where we all sat down in the fire department at the big giant table and said, this is what we want, because it's gotta be something different. I mean, it can't be, it's impossible.
But wasn't that what Goldstone was hired to do? They were hired to put the design options out there based on what.
But they were also given a wish list.
Yeah,
when-
they
when-
weren't
when
given
you-
a budget.
Right, I'm saying, I
when
think
you-
we have to cut it, we have to.
I think that the wish list has to be, we have to start saying, okay, this item can't live, we can't afford that, we're gonna have to take that off, because
But now we know where we can work too. Like, we
I
have
think
this-
that, we have some information, I know it wasn't what everybody wanted to hear, we don't have all the information we need. We can't blame them just for that, okay? We didn't have a survey of the property, a physical survey.
Well, we had an old one, we gave them
Right,
that.
but anyways, but things have changed since then too, because there's been a bunch of ground filled, okay? We did 35 years ago, the building's 45 years old.
Yeah, I'm wondering,
46 years.
if an option is to not merge the two together, but fix, we have to fix this building in so many ways anyway. I mean, it was a house.
To build up, like,
To build the police department up and then do something up
out.
and up and or out and do something on theirs. By the way, this was in my period of time, this was the other petition to rescind. We
Correct.
voted this at a town meeting to buy John Bernash's building for 700 something thousand, and there was a petition to rescind this vote, and it failed also. But
Mhm.
that was
Right.
it's not like it's something new that came out of the sky.
Okay, so how are we gonna do it? We gonna try to set up a meeting with Goldstone?
I mean,
'Cause
I'm really at a loss. I mean, I don't see, how are they gonna, so you're thinking that we can meet with Goldstone, tell them we need to like bring this all down and come up with other alternatives?
well, I think that.
I mean, there's no, let me ask you a question, Stu.
That
Do you agree that we can?
$8 to $10 million is out of question.
Thank you, okay,
But-
I'm just making
But
sure.
I think this is the start of the negotiation. We have to say, okay, we can't afford that. What can we take out? What can we reduce this by? And how can we implement this to make it work and start coming down into a realistic budget?
And also, yes, so maybe we do need to do that. Is it just Goldstone or with the other guys that had come in before? We just stick with Goldstone?
We've committed to Goldstone. We're starting to pay them money.
Okay.
I think
Well,
we
we
have.
already paid them everything, I think.
Okay, so we
I
have
don't
to
know if
continue
we
with
have
Goldstone.
teeth to
Well, give me
continue.
everything, because they were getting another 20% on top of the 10 million.
For the design, for the next stage of
Yeah.
the building.
But I think we have to continue with Goldstone.
Well, I think they said they were gonna, I think they said they'll come to the next meeting, so maybe we should just have a
Put it on
discussion.
for
cause
Okay.
that's next Wednesday.
But
No, next Wednesday,
Uh,
next Wednesday,
Yeah, not tomorrow, a
right?
week
Because
from
this is
tomorrow.
planning commission, right?
so we have a meeting on the 21st?
Mm-hmm,
Is that what you're saying?
yes, to get us back on schedule.
Okay. All right, so, you're gonna reach out to
Yeah,
them
the
and
21st, see if they can come to the 21st, and we'll figure out what's going on, because, I mean, bringing the water down into town, the septic down into town, because everybody's on their own water, that's a big project too, but reality is, and part of the reason we set up Marcel worked with Wyndham Regional to set it up as a village center, is because there's grants and funding for that. So I mean, even if it's, I think originally, years ago, when we first quoted it out, it was $2 million to bring it down into town.
Well,
you know,
in the,
but if
in the
there's grants
beginning, in
and.
the beginning, Marcel said it's $6 million. Well,
I never heard
it
that.
wasn't.
Oh my God.
Okay, it wasn't.
Oh, Marcel didn't want the.
Marcel,
He originally
for,
was-
this has been going on for 25 years.
Yeah, I know,
Okay, this
I know.
isn't just a new thing.
No, I.
And about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, Marcel said, would you please come up to my office? I said, sure. So we sat down and talked. He said, you know, you've been after this for a long time. He says, I think we should talk about it. But he said, we need more than 25,000 gallons per day. We should ask for 50,000 gallons allocation.
You did. You
So
got.
I went to the meeting
Yep.
at the Stratton Winhall Fire District and said, hey, we need more. And they said, oh my God, we can't do it. Stratton's got so many plants.
No. They
But
said-
I had already talked to their engineer,
Yeah.
and he said, they got plenty of room. And he signed off on it. We have 50,000 gallons allocation. Whether we can make it happen or not, we don't know.
Stratton does have two really big plans going on right now. Are you aware?
But he says that there's plenty of room.
Yeah.
They have plenty of allocation. So anyway, that's how that proposed. So Marcel was for that also. So we will have to
Yeah,
continue.
I thought that getting the village designation, my
Matt
understanding.
Bachler is working on it right now.
Right, so my understanding was that getting that is what enabled us to get funding to
Some
bring,
money, possibly.
because the state is very adamant about water waste.
Design money is all that's
Right.
Oh, it
happening
is?
right now, it's design money,
Right.
and it's like 150,000, so.
Well, that's not a big number, and we don't need a design. I mean, there's another option that has to do, that I put through my head, which is that, you know, I'm not sure what the benefit of that, bringing it down, it benefits a number of people in town that have properties, you're one of them, so you won't be.
But I have 2 septic systems in town now
Well,
that are
that's what I'm
working.
saying, they're working fine, and so did I talked to Tom Mangia about it too, and
And his is working.
his seemed to be fine too. And so it's really a question of, you know, if we were gonna bring this thing down into town, in my opinion, at the moment, unless we get grants or funding for it, I think that the people that might want it in town, the end users,
Well-
I mean, you're the ones who would be paying for it, because we wouldn't pay Winhall Stratton Fire District, you know, quarterly. It would be the people that are drawing, it's based on water or sewage. But,
My main goal was for this, and some people think that I'm doing this for my benefit. It is not. It embarrasses me that
oh, no
people,
toilets in town.
that people come into this community and say, my little girl needs to go to the restroom. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
there's no restrooms,
we
right.
don't have a public restroom.
Nobody does.
Okay,
7-Eleven,
so
Winhall
It's
Market.
not 7-Eleven's problem, it's not
No.
Managea's
And
problem, it's
I
not the
understand
bank's
that.
problem.
So I understand that, and that's why for a few years running, we paid to have porta potty set up over by
Mm-hmm.
the community center, so that at least somebody could say, well, it's over there. Still, not the best option,
It's
I
not
get it.
the best thing.
So you're thinking that if we brought this down, we would put a bathroom in? Like,
Absolutely,
that would be,
a public restroom.
and where would it go?
Well,
Next
we
to
have,
the
we
post
have,
office?
we have a half an acre land.
Oh, right to the
By-
right of the post office.
No, well, we have some land there
Some
where,
there.
where Winhall Market people park,
Right,
okay? And then there's also half an acre of land up by Roberts Road that,
right.
which was originally gotten when Carol Ford was in as selectman, when Stratton went in, said, we may need to have a salt shed here. Well, we still own land right there.
Right, right.
Okay, it's not a huge piece of land, but
No.
if we had sewage, then it's not a big
Yeah.
deal. It
How
doesn't
much
need
is it?
about half an acre.
Is that not enough for a fire station?
No. No, absolutely not.
Anyway, I think that.
We got some trucks who can't turn around half an acre.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, so anyway, I guess I'm
Okay.
sorry to drag us over to the
Okay,
wastewater
let's keep going.
system, but
All right, what else we got? How about the minutes in the last meeting? Have you guys read them?
I have.
I have.
Do you have any problem with them?
No.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Wednesday, April 16th. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay,
And what is going on with the town reappraisal? Where are they?
They're happening, it's gonna, and so,
which is
Have
what
they
was in
made
the
it off
first,
Route
they're still on
11?
map 1 as far as I last heard from Doug.
Okay.
Map 1 is all the way down.
I had a gentleman come in and gave me kind of a hard time the other day. He said, well, this was supposed to be done in April and May.
What?
And I said, of 26. Oh, no, because I want to renovate my house. I want the appraisal done now so I can renovate my house after. And I said, it doesn't work that way.
Well, it does work that way, he should wait to renovate his house.
But anyways, it was supposed to be done this year.
No.
And I said, I'm pretty sure it wasn't scheduled to be done I said, it's in process.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Well, he says they should hurry it up, because I wanna renovate. And I said, well,
Okay, well,
sorry.
if people come to you with that, there's,
Sorry about your champagne problems.
well, there's a real, there's a rational answer for that, which is that after, when COVID hit, every state in Vermont got kicked into the 80%.
Every state in Vermont?
Every town in Vermont got
Okay,
kicked.
there we go.
Thank you, Stu. Every town in Vermont got kicked into that 80%, you have to do a reappraisal rule. Well,
I believe
you know how
we're-
many appraisers we have in Vermont?
4, I believe. And I believe that we're
And we-
at 58% right now from what Doug said today.
We
Is that right? Isn't that what he said?
I didn't hear that.
I
wasn't,
I
was doing my own.
Al, she usually hears everything, doesn't she?
Sorry.
Yeah, normally.
Okay.
We sent out, just to clarify, recollection, we sent out an RFP. We got nobody.
So
No appraiser responded to do it for us.
because they were all busy.
And then Doug or Lissa or somebody begged Nemrick to put us on their list, and they said, we can do it, but we can't start until 2025, and we won't finish till 2026, so, you know, the guy just doesn't understand, it's, you know, whatever, it's okay, if you talk to him again, you,
Well, they hear what they want to hear.
yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I
He's also
relate to
90 years
that.
old, so. Okay, what else we got on here? Any new business that you don't have on the agenda? Okay. So, I will send that information to you about the 2 vehicles to have you get me a bill of sale. We did have a sale, we sold 3 pieces of old equipment. We've been on several missions with the new equipment, it's working great.
You're talking about the ATVs.
The ATVs and the snowmobile
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And I will send you the information on the fire trucks.
Okay.
Okay,
Was there any correspondence?
no other correspondence? Okay, so,
Wow. Wow,
What
can we
else?
do this at every meeting?
what else we got? Well,
Well, next
How do you
meeting,
do
we're
that?
talking to
45
Goldstone,
minutes?
so,
Yeah, that's a bit,
And-
right, oh, we
and-
didn't have the Forest Service that was gonna come,
They were gonna
and
come.
Goldstone,
They
right,
would like to come to the next one, so.
so the next one will be a long meeting.
that's okay.
I don't know why the Forest Service.
Just, I don't think I've ever,
I don't understand why the Forest Service is coming, they were just here.
they wanted to introduce,
The conservation fund, who is in charge of certain things that you guys were talking about
Right.
the last.
Oh,
So
the
they said they
60
would come
acres
back.
that suddenly got
they said they would
Green
come
Mountain
back,
National
right.
Forest in the town of
But
Winhall.
I've been 16
They
years
don't
and
own it
I
yet.
don't remember.
They don't own it yet?
No, I'm watching, and
It
I
didn't come
actually
through.
clicked off that PTR, and it's right by my desk. It's just in a conservation LLC right now,
Okay, okay.
so it hasn't gone
Well,
anywhere.
it just startled me that, because normally we have to sign off on it.
Yeah,
So 16 years, I don't think we've ever had
Okay, well, if you stop talking, we can get under
50-minute meeting.
50. Is there anyone else who has anything to say?
Wow.
I just.
You just waving?
I know, I'm talking, I'm gonna publicly say, I appreciate my daughter
Oh my goodness, I do too.
for doing that.
I do too.
Oh, I think we should actually say it here. I appreciate.
I just think you should say something publicly, because
Well, I
she
did
won't
to-
step forward again if you don't, I'm just.
Oh, no,
I thanked her at the meeting the
I
other
know,
day.
yeah,
I went,
I'm just saying, you know, it should be, it should
Oh, I
be.
didn't see
You're
it,
right.
I thank
It's
you.
in the minutes that she
It's
did
in
that, so,
the minutes.
because it's pretty,
Yes.
you know, it's pretty important to know to
Teresa.
have a local resource.
I have it in a minute.
Great, thanks, Lucia.
Yeah, it was incredible. No, I told you and Randy before the
I know,
town
but-
meeting that,
okay,
Just
anyone else got anything to say?
incredible.
No, that was it, thank you.
I can still make it my other meeting, so I can go practice.
Right? So are we motioning to adjourn? Is that what
Make a motion, we adjourn.
At 6:18.
40?
All in favor, say aye.
My name.
Good.
okay.